What's going on, guys? It is your boy Chris back again with another video, and today I'm going to be uploading a FIFA 20 just discussion video, to be honest with you. I wanted to split this up into probably two videos, but I think I'm just going to put it all into one, to be honest. One part of the video is going to be the content related, and then the other part, well, menu driven content, and the other part is going to be gameplay content. What I thought of like the beta and stuff like that. I've seen so many people like put out already like what their thoughts were on the beta, so I think it's pretty safe to say like you can talk about it. There's been plenty of gameplay been out there already, so I think it's safe to, you know, just talk in general about what I thought of the gameplay. And first like 5-10 minutes I think is going to be about the just the menus, right? So like on the PES 20 beta, let's just say, you know, just in case, right? On that there was a wheel of death. Now that is very problematic because it was hard to do SBCs. So like, you know, crafting like gold upgrades would be very difficult. I heard there is a way though that it's easier to do them, but I didn't like the wheel of death, to be honest. We call it the wheel of death because like it literally looked like a wheel of death. The dark screen in the background, it just didn't look great. I like the addition of bundle discards, where like if you have like 5,000 contracts, you want to get rid of about 4,000 of them, you can just discard all of them if you want to in one bundle. You don't have to go through one at a time, discarding each and every contract. Another thing I wanted to talk about for this game that needs to be improved for next year's game, and we kind of saw like some leaks out on Twitter where there was a 250k pack out. And if they are thinking about doing that, for example, right? Division rival rewards right now, you guys know the problems, right? If you're in Division 1 rank 1, you can literally get the same rewards at 1800 skill rating to 2700, 3000 skill rating, whatever it goes up to, right? That's a flaw in the ranks. Next year, it looks like if they do two ultimate or two 250k packs, you get about 120 rare cards. For untradeable rewards next year. I think that's pretty good, pretty rewarding to grind Division 1. Odds are you're gonna pack something that's decent where you can put them into an SBC, or you can use them in your team early on. I think that really is a big plus for them if they do that. Hopefully they don't take advantage of that and put them into like promos and stuff, which I have a feeling that they could do. So that's one thing, because the Division Rivals rewards this year, they were never worth it to me. Even when you went tradable or you went untradeable, everyone kept asking like, do I take the coins? Do I take the packs? I always said take the coins if you're smart, if you're a content creator, you do stuff on Twitter and stuff like that. Maybe you go the pack route to show people like what they're all about. But I think the coins this year, there wasn't like a big enough gap between like the amount of coins that we got compared to the pack rewards that we got. So you can get an ultimate pack and make 30k off of that. But then you have, you know, 80k as an option here for getting rank 1 in Division 1. So that definitely needs tweaking for next year, and I'll be interested to see what they do with that. That's one of my main keys, like for the menus next year, is like, if we're going down this Division Rivals route, which I think it's a good mode to use during the week, it's a little competitive because obviously you put rewards in, you're going to make people competitive about it. You got to reward us in a better fashion, I think. And hopefully with this leak, I don't know if it's going to be true or not, but if they do end up putting out a 250k pack, that's going to be 60 rare players, untradeable, or tradable if you take one of those packs. So that could very well be worth it, especially early on in the game if you do get up to Division 1 quick. The second piece I want to talk about, something that I've been asking for this whole year, is I'm just going to redeem the interest now because I want to show you. Can I even show you guys? I can. The pick system, right? I don't mind the pick system, right? I don't think it's bad. I do have a problem with the higher tier rewards though. So like top 100 players, right? I think if you get, so right here, if you get like top 50, then you get the 5 player picks, but you get 4 if you get 51 to 100. Now think about this for a second, guys. You can get Elite 3, which is 23 wins, and that'll get you 3 player pick items. You only get 1 more for getting top 100. We don't know the pack probability. Like, we don't know if there's a higher chance of you packing a better player, because we've all seen those rewards where people have grinded Weekend League, wasted their whole weekend, and get top 100, you know, maybe in the 70 to 100 range, or maybe Elite 1, Elite 2, and they don't get anything. This is a problem. Look at Gold 3, for example. You get 2 player picks. Now, obviously, during Team of the Season, there was a guarantee where Gold 2 and up, you would get a guaranteed at least 1 player from the top 5 leagues, or whatever league was in packs that week. But you still saw a lot of Gold 3s getting, you know, crazy rewards. I got Salah out of Gold 3. I didn't expect that, but it just so happened to be that the pack weight in those just seemed like juice. Maybe that's because more people are going for the Gold 3, because people realize, hey, I could stop at 14 wins, play half the Weekend League, enjoy the rest of my weekend. That player pick system has to change, and I've talked to Fun Comments about it. I think if you're going 2 player pick specials, I don't know, like, because the elite players, to get 9 more wins, which is significantly harder to do in Weekend League, by the way, because once you get at the 17 range, you're starting to play sweat after sweat after sweat. It's not like you're blowing out every player. You're really coming up against sweats. There needs to be more compensation for the elite players. And let me just think about this. You get 200k packs for Gold 1, but you only get 100k pack from Elite 3. Think about that. The extra 3 wins is actually hard, because instead of going 20 and 10, you actually have to go 23 and 7. So that puts even more stress on you for the Weekend League. And they're valuing their Team Season 3 player pack, or whatever, the Team of the Week player pack. They're valuing that at, I guess, over 100k. But I've gotten Elite multiple times this year, and before Team of the Season, those rewards were never really worth it to me. They need to find a way to reward the best players. Now, I wouldn't say, like, just give them all the best players, because that would just be naive, right? But up the pack weights for them, because they kind of deserve it. Because, like, what kind of game would we be if we're helping out the shitty players and we're not really rewarding the top 100 players? The top 100 players were the most affected from this change from last year to this year. In the month, you get right here, if you finish top 50, right, you get 20 player picks, right? And there's another thing I also want to talk about as well after this. You get 20 player picks. Last year for the month, you got icon untradeable, and even if it was terrible, you can still put them into an icon SBC. And you got 44 red picks. That is 24 red players that you could either use for SBCs, or you can use them in your teams. The top 100 players and the elite players have really been fucked over this year, I think. If you're a Gold 1 up player, you are on the upper echelon. You're in the top 5% of people that play this game, especially FUT champs. Because to go Gold 1 in a game this broken, I give you credit. And I was Gold 1 to Elite 3 this whole year. No matter, you know, if there was a patch or anything. Something I also want to talk about is, if you pick a player, say that I get Bernardo Silva, Team of the Season, in my first player pick, and I choose him, I don't want to see him in my other 4 picks, or my other 2 or 3 picks, whatever I have at that time. That player should not be allowed to be in that second player pick. That should just be off limits, because that's ridiculous. Because if you're getting Gold 1, for example, and you're getting the 2 player picks, you can so easily get Bernardo Silva in the first one, which is not a bad player, obviously, but then you can get Bernardo Silva in the second one with 3 really bad Team Seasons with it. It doesn't make sense. They should cut it off where, if you already have him in that player pick set, you shouldn't have to get him, as long as you pick him. If you don't pick him in the first set, then yeah, I'm okay with it being in the second set. But if you pick him in that first set, you should not be able to pack him in the second. I think there should be better pack probabilities for the Elite Plus players. Like I said, not giving them everything that they want, but just rewarding them a little bit better. Because we saw in the market this year, when it came to BPL Team of the Season rewards, right? The top 100 players got 11 Team of the Season tradable. We saw the market fly, especially the high tier market, because these kids all year who were getting, you know, in this market, you had to make like $1 million a week from rewards just to compete in how high the market was getting. And these top 100 players were getting 400 or 500k from their rewards. it just really wasn't worth it every single week, man. I still have a screenshot on my phone of #Harry, I think, getting an 86 overall as his best 11 player pick, right? Or 11 team of the week players that he got for that weekend. I think that's just ridiculous. Like, this man grinded 30-0, and he gets that 11 team of the weeks. I just don't get it. They have to find a way to reward the top players next year. It's something that's really, like, it really bugs me to see because, like I said, the market flew during team of the season because we weren't getting 400 or 500K for rewards anymore. These top 100 players were getting millions of rewards. It would be like, to get 3 million from those rewards was kind of like meh. But like a good reward set would be like 7 or 8 mil because you would pack an Aubameyang or a Hazard or a Son, someone that's worth like 2 million coins. So you saw how the market flew this past year with team of the seasons as rewards. They need to do something where, not obviously at the team of the season level, but just at least guarantee them one of the top players, because I think they do deserve that for grinding their whole weekend. I know I probably went on a long time about that. And it just really irks me, guys. I gotta be honest with you. So that's fine. I think the Champs channel is fine. I think it obviously would have, like, they can't even fix their own servers right now, so I don't expect them to have Champs channels, you know, replays for everyone that plays FUT Champs. I get that. I like in FIFA, in PES 20, in the active squad screen, you have the SBC tab on the right side as well. I kind of like that. I also like from the lineup or from the starting 11 side, you can press R1 or L1 and it'll take you right to the transfer market instead of pressing L1 and like you just compare price to the player. Kind of like that. It's just like a little way to get onto the transfer market pretty easily. Another thing I want to talk about. So this part of the video I think is going to be gameplay driven in just what I thought about the gameplay. Obviously, everyone's first thoughts was it's slow, and it is slow. But we also thought FIFA 19 was way slower than FIFA 18, and we were right, obviously. But if they have the right fundamentals in place to make this game good, the double triangle pass, it gives you an extra lane and it gives you more space to cut open a defense with that kind of pass. I love it. I was using that a lot. The L1, like the crab walking, I use it a little bit. It definitely creates a little bit of space for you, especially with players that like to commit. I thought one of the biggest bonuses was like the manual defending, where you pick your defender and literally they get the ball probably 95% of the time. But there's still times where your players, like, when you're dribbling into a player, like, your player just bounces off and kind of looks stupid, and then allows the other player to get the ball. They need to make it a little bit more authentic, but still be able to have the manual defending be rewarding for these people. Yeah, I thought that was great. I think they still need to work on it a little bit, because there was some plays where I still wasn't getting the ball back every time, and it's football, right? I get it, you're not going to get the ball back every single time, but that was the manual defending part. I think the AI is still a little bit like crazy with some of their blocking and stuff like that. Not as bad as 19, of course, and not as bad as 18, but it's still at a level where I think they need to nerf it down a little bit and make it even more manual. Something I want to touch upon, something that I just couldn't stand this year, was you're in on goal, you have a 10-yard head start, and you have, say, I don't know, who's like a fast guy on my team right now? Let's just say, for example, Son, right? Son has, you know, I don't even know, probably 99 pace, probably 97, something like that. Yeah, he has 94 sprint speed, right? And he would get caught up to every single time, or at least, you know, get pressured to the point where he may, you know, his composure, or I might turn the ball over because of that. When you were in on goal, there was no defender stopping you. I like that, because the recovery pace of the defenders this year are so unrealistic. Next year, yes, I do agree. If you have a slow attacker and you have a fast defender like Varane, like Van Dijk, something like that, then I'm okay with it. You know, he can catch, you know, you can catch you like 2 or 3 times a game. That's okay to me, but make it realistic at least. Like the most times this year, man, like I would get I would get caught up to like by Laporte, or like just a center back that has like 75 pace and stuff like that. That's something that really irked me this year, and I think for next year, if they get that right, which so far it didn't seem too bad to me. I want to be clear on goal, especially when I have like Mbappe, and we were using the top players. Obviously, we had that 36 player pack that we got, so hopefully they did fix that for next year. It is promising. A lot of the gameplay stuff is promising for next year, guys. I gotta be honest with you. Like, I was impressed. Oh, I need to talk about this. The arrow. So you remember like this year, the arrow. You would see those clips blow up on like Twitter or YouTube where the arrow would literally be in the net, in the corner, and the ball would still go 3 or 4 yards outside the post. The arrow is so sensitive this year with not just shooting, but also passing. Passing as well is you're very prone to make a mistake on passing, so you need to be very careful with where you're aiming the ball. And like for me, I was misplacing some passes, but then once I got the hang of it, started to realize like, okay, where I have to aim, because this year the aiming, it's just all over the place. Like after the patch in January, we didn't really know like anything about this game. Like everything is RNG in this game right now. And next year, hopefully I think they've produced more of a skill gap for next year's game. Obviously, that wasn't the full version we were gonna play. There's gonna be the demo, right? Then we have the first week of the game, that's launch day, and then they'll probably do a patch a couple weeks into the year. Last year was the only year they didn't do a patch early on, and every other year they've done it like a week or two in. I just hope, because we did the same thing in FIFA 18 where the finishing was good. I gotta talk about the finishing as well. The finishing was good. They had the foundations for a good game, and they had manual defending was hard, but it was good to learn, because you would have learned how to manual defend over the year. It made you get better, or it would make you get better as a player. But instead, the casuals started complaining because defending was just way too hard. So they just buffed AI defending up to the max, and I thought it couldn't get worse, but then it got worse this year. So I just really hope they don't cave into the casuals again, where if the casuals start complaining about, you know, oh, I can't defend because I'm overcommitting here and there, you just got to deal with that. You have to create a skill gap this year. This year, there was no skill gap. In FIFA 18, there was no skill gap as well. Finishing, to me, again, with the arrow, you got to be very careful with where you're aiming it. For me, it looked like near post finesse was doing well. I would say just pressing circle most times, if you just aimed it, was decent. Finesse shots in general looked good. Long shots like 30 yards out don't really work too much. So the volleys, the scoop up crosses, all the bullshit that was in the game this year is gone. You can't cross the ball. Like, first of all, crossing is very, very ineffective right now. I probably conceded out of 25 games, probably 2 corners and maybe like 1 header off of a real play. So that's good to see, because heading always was like something RNG. You know, it's your player against my defender, right? Who's gonna win the header here? And what stats take precedent, obviously, when those two match up against each other. So it always just seemed random. And this year, especially, like, it looked like the attacker was always the first man to the ball, because the defender, as the ball is coming in, he's backing up and he doesn't have time to head the ball out. So the mechanic was just all fucked up this year. If you know what I mean there. This is already like 19 minutes of footage. Bear with me, it's a long video. Hopefully you guys don't mind this. I didn't want to make this a 2-part video because I think it's a good discussion video to have with FIFA 20. Another thing, good and bad gameplay. It's still a thing. They're working on it. I know Inception went to Vancouver to work on it with them. I think they will fix it at some point this year. Or maybe even next year, hopefully. But the fundamentals, guys, are in place. I'm really excited about this game. I was addicted to this game. Like, I literally could not get off the game. I didn't even want to go back onto FIFA 19 once I was able to play FIFA 20. So, it's going to be addicting this year, guys. And I got to be careful with this year because I want to be like a top 100 trader. And the more gameplay I'm going to play because I'm addicted to it, the less time I'm going to be on the market. So, I got to manage my time really good this year. But yeah, that's pretty much like the discussion I wanted to have with you guys. in the next couple of days, guys, I'm going to be bringing you so much FIFA 20 content, basic market trends, how to make coins early on, you know, just all that kind of stuff about how to make coins in this game. I'm going to show you guys. So thank you guys for watching. If you did get this far, leave a like. If you also are new to the if you're new to the videos, drop a sub. It doesn't hurt. It is free as well. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, I will see you guys in the next video very soon. Peace.